If you want the world to be a better place to live in. If you want the world to be a better place to live in. If you want the world to be a better place to live in. Try real love, try real peace. Don't put it off, try real peace today. If you want the world to be a better place to live in. If you want the world to be a better place to live in. If you want the world to be a better place to live in. Try real love, try real peace. Don't put it off, try real peace today.
Hi, and welcome to On Track with Betty Matt. Thank you so much for tuning into my show. I'm off location, as I'm sure you have figured out. But I did a show not too long ago about troubled youth and what can we as a community do to help. And I had a lot of wonderful panelists and about 8 high school students from Timpkin and McKinley. And it was a very good show. I got raving reviews and people called about it. And then not long after that, there was just a horrible shooting that took place in Connecticut. And so it's just kind of pushed us forward now to say we really need to listen to our young people and find out what is going on, what is causing all the disturbance. So on that show, I was not able to have Mr. Williams with me, and so he graciously consented to come out on a Saturday so I can shoot this show for you because I want to hear from him. And he is the new coordinator of the Stark County Peace Coalition. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so, and I'm learning along with my viewers. Just kind of give me some information on what you do and why it is that you're now the coordinator, and what are you looking for to happen with this Peace Coalition?
My job recently, I've become the PR coordinator for CCAV, Community Coalition Against Violence. And basically, Zutali asked me to step up to this position because we've been trying to do a lot of things locally, and some of the things that we've tried to do involved going into our community, doing some peace walks, talking to individuals that have either been in gangs or are currently in gangs, and try to get a feel for what is needed in our community to help stop or at least lower the violence. Currently, we are working with an organization or several community organizations that have come together to pool their resources. And what we're trying to accomplish is, instead of each individual organization overlapping and doing different things in a community, we wanted to put all of our resources together and be one voice to the community, to the organizations abroad. We're looking at different things that work throughout the United States and other communities, and we're trying to just come together as one unit and do what we can to stop the violence. Currently, we're working with Currently, we're working with a lot of different projects trying to accomplish this goal that we have to become one voice.
I remember when I went to one of the first meetings that the coalition had, there was about 30 groups around the table. Yes. So there are a lot of active groups out there, and some kind of way, I think your job is kind of bring them together and work on one mission.
That is correct. What we're trying to accomplish, again, is bringing all of the groups together. We want to see what our strengths and our weaknesses are, so we can overlap each other to protect and to cover our weaknesses, so that we, again, can be one voice. And right now, the organization that you're talking about, when we pulled together all of our resources and the 30 different community organizations that came together on that one meeting, that was Pastor Wynn that came up with the idea to have all of the community organizations come together and be as one voice. And what we did is we had 30, actually more than 30 organizations that appeared, and each organization revealed what they're doing in the community. We created a community calendar, which is at starkunited.com. That community calendar, we're posting events and different things that each organization is accomplishing throughout the community, so that way you can have one place to go to have an idea of what's going on in the community.
You know, I think that's really important, that people really plug in to the calendar. We for years we tried to get this going, and I think this is the farthest we've gotten with it. So if you have events and things, so that we can be supportive of one another, and also so that we don't have 3 and 4, 5, 6 things going on at the same time. If you will just check that calendar or log in your event on that calendar, give that address again.
It's www.stark, S-T-A-R-K, United, UNITED.com.
Yeah, so that's easy enough that you want to go on there and post your events. Another thing that I shot an email out, and I asked social service agencies and pastors to send me a list of anything that you're doing that involves the youth after school or on weekends. We need to have a compiled list of all of the events, because our young people are saying there's nothing to do, there's nowhere to go, and I think there are events and things that are happening, but we just don't really know where they are, so we can steer the young people. When you say that,
Yes,
you have
I
things
agree.
going on, you know,
Yes, we have a lot that's happening, excuse me, in Stark County, and I think that sometimes we just don't know because there hasn't been a place where you can go and find out all of the different things that are going on in Canton, and that's one of the things we want to resolve is to have that community calendar so anyone can go to that website and actually see what's going on in the community and get plugged in wherever it is that they want to be.
I think that's good. So plug into the calendar and then send me the events as well, because then what I can do is have some of the event leaders on the show, and you can talk about what you're doing. So you can send it to me at Betty Smith at neo.rr.com. Betty Smith at neo.rr.com. Send me your activities. Pastors, we really need you to get on board and help with this. In the show that I had, Mr. Williams, there was one of the guests that's saying the churches need to step up the plate and do a little bit more. And it's easier to do it when they're coming to your church, but sometimes you have to reach beyond the borders of your church, go into the community and reach those unreachable, so to speak, when you say.
Yes, yes, I do agree with that. I think frequently we get comfortable inside the church and we have programs that are applicable to those people that are actually in the church, but very rare do you see a church reach out to the community and become active in resolving some of the problems. And if you look back into the older, in the beginning when the church first started, that was the job of the church. They went out and they resolved the issues in the community so people would be able to become Christians, and whatever issues they had were taken care of by the church. And now it's like our community, the needs that we have in our community, we're looking for our government and school systems and different organizations to take care of the problems that we have in the community when it should be the church. And I believe that is very scriptural too.
Right, and you know, it still takes that village to raise a child. So we need everyone. It has to start at home, and of course we know there are some young people or just have a bad relationships going on at home. So they're looking outside the home. So the churches need to step up to the plate. The schools, of course, need to do their part, and then these other organizations, social service agencies. So you see, there's a core group that if everybody did a little bit, then it wouldn't make the job as difficult. But we have those that are just young people that are just kind of out there and wandering around and wondering, you know, where can I go? And sometimes I think they feel very unloved, you know, and our young people need to feel that you love them. You might not understand them all the time, but they still need love. You know, I think we have to reach out to those young people.
Yes, that is true. One of the things that keep coming back to my mind, Betty, just recently, actually it was last year this time in December, that I was held up at gunpoint.
Oh, my.
And that it helped me to realize or to remember how much love our community is in need of. And there was 3 young boys that robbed me. And, you know, the first thing is anger. You think, you know, wow, you know, why did this happen? I was relieved that, you know, I didn't get shot or killed,
Right.
but you know, there was a lot of rage and anger that built up inside of me. And then I realized that I'm not doing my part to help with showing the love that God has given me to our community. And that's when I began to seek out community organizations to try and become more active in just role modeling, showing some type of love to a lot of these young men that may think that they have no choice but to rob, steal, kill, or sell drugs. And being raised in a community myself and going through the same trials that a lot of these young men are going through, I can relate. And I also can, again, be that role model to say, you do have choices. And I didn't have that when I was growing up. So a lot of, up until about 21, I did things that I thought I had to do because I had no choice. And that's not true. These young people that are out here that are not, they don't have the guidance that a lot of the parents that are, when you have both parents in the home and both parents are strong and they're biblically sound and they can teach principles and values, these children will grow up a lot of times and they'll have direction. But when you don't have that and you're lacking that strong guidance from a parent in the home, the children tend to fall into other paths and they make choices that are a lot of times bad choices that will cause them to either be shot and killed themselves, or wind up in prison, or eventually on the street alone and feeling unloved.
Right. I remember some years ago when I had my agency and I was talking to one of the judges and he said, Betty, I think we're really failing our young people, particularly African Americans. He said, I see these young people come before me and I know in a matter of time they're going to be back. And I said, why is that, Judge? He says, there's not enough positive things going on once they go outside to give them that guidance that they need. So unfortunately, I see them back and then they're sent away for a long time because they've done something that's even worse than the original crime. So again, it points back to the things that we need to have happening in the community that are positive. And we can't be afraid of our young people. I think some people are really afraid of the young people.
Yes, and I think that's part of the problem that we have. A lot of the children that are feeling rejected, we put up, and I include myself in that category, is that we put up this shield to make it appear that we're tough and that we're, angry or mad. And a lot of times it's really a voice, a voice crying out that says, I need attention, I need love. And I remember again as a child that all of the mask that we wear, a lot of times it comes from the pain and the hurt. And I think that if we can get together as a community, which is what we're trying to do with these different organizations that are coming together under the Stark Peace Coalition, we can actually make a difference in a lot of these kids' lives that think they have no hope or think that they are unloved. And the kids that are hurting, if we can show them that we love them, if we can show them that, we can make a difference in their lives and be there, not just show up for a month or two, but to actually be strong role models that they can lean on, especially when times get tough. That's what the kids need.
You said the key thing, because love is an action word. You can't just say what you're going to do or say I love you. You have to show it.
That's true.
And these young people want to see something. They've heard that a lot. Oh, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to. And then nothing happens. So I promised the young people that were on my show, I'm going to stay on the leaders in the community to really hold their feet to the fire to make sure that things are going to happen in a positive manner for them. So that's why I was really excited when we were able to set up this time so you could come on, since you're kind of the spearheading these groups now, to bring them together. I had Pastor Walter Moss on, who's over a group of ministers, and he said that's going to be his mission for 2013, is to say, pastors, we really have to reach outside the community now and help these young people. So they'll no longer have the excuse of saying, oh, there's nothing to do, or the churches don't want me, or whatever, So we're going to take those excuses away, right?
Yes. And that's great. Pastor Moss, I know he's a man of action.
Oh, yes.
And he has a heart for the community, and he loves God. And I believe that sometimes we overlook the spiritual issues that we have. And I think right now that's one of our main focuses, is not just coming together as people and organizations coming together and pulling resources, but to spiritually to look at the current condition that we face and understand that there is a spiritual presence and a spiritual battle that is going on that sometimes it causes tension. Sometimes we feel unappreciated, or we might feel like we're wasting our time, and really that's not the truth. There's some underlying things that come to irritate us and cause us to give up because behind the scenes there is something working that causes us to turn our backs on situations when we should be sticking together.
That's very true. And it was really kind of amazing when the young people were on the show and someone asked how many of the young people actually attended church. And I think 3/4 of them said that they attend church. So that was a good thing. So now we need to get those other youth that are out there that are not really attending church, and now we're not trying to force religion on anyone. Don't think that that's what this is all about. But we want the churches play a very important role in getting the young people involved. Churches need to have activities and things going on that will win the young people. If they can't come in, then you take it out to them and do some things on the outside that they would enjoy. One of the young people said he used to go to the Y, then they closed the Y. So they always love basketball. They love sports. Yes. They love the arts. That's why you saw the group of young people that were here today involved in the enrichment program. We have about 20-some students now, young people ages 5 to 17 that come here at Jesus Speaks Church. Even though Jesus Speaks is not sponsoring the program, we opened our facility to allow this program to be here. So, the church doesn't have to more or less open the programs or start them, but let them use their facilities.
Yes, be available. Yes.
Be available, pastors, and be open and receptive to good programs in your community that want to come in. These young people come here faithfully. On Saturdays, we're raising money to buy instruments for them because we say if you put an instrument in the hands of a young person, then he won't pick up a gun. That's kind of what we're going on. There's a slogan that says that. So we want to reach out to the young people, bring them into the fold, and work with them. And then we need to get the parents. Parents play a key role.
Yes, I agree. One of the programs that CCAV is working on, Zutali and I, and some of the other members are trying to develop a program called RSS, which is Reach, Save, and Support. Part of that training, there's a component of that program that we're going to use to go into neighborhoods and teach parents how to become better parents. Not that we have all the answers, but we're gonna have some experts for finance, experts from real estate, from KeyBank. We have KeyBank on our side, so they're going to be coming out doing some training, and there's just a whole list of things that we want to try to offer to those that might feel they need some help in understanding how to parent right now or how to get a hold of their finances.